My aim during this presentation is to see how the English language appeared in the Philippines and Sweden, how it developed in those countries, and what the similarities and differences are. My main method of analyzing these two dialects will be to conduct an intuitive comparison where I base my conclusion on the examination of different sources to get a result which hopefully will bring some light on the differences but also similarities between the countries' use of the English language. I will take the essentials from each source and consolidate the gathered information, and from there hopefully make some kind of analysis. Due to Sweden's geographical location, it has had the influence from the English language for almost 800 years. Even though it was not at all integrated in the culture then as it is today, especially not in the lower class population, it did have influence, but not in the same form as it does today. Rather, there were simply words that had passed from the English language into the Swedish vocabulary, such as religion and politics. But why did these words make it to the language? In the form of a Swedish adaptation of the English word. The site Språkförsvaret by nätverket Språkförsvaret claims that this type of word influence comes from cultural superiority in variation of areas. For example, the word religion, which came to Sweden during the 13th century due to the English missionaries spreading Christianity throughout the Scandinavian lands. The Swedish population had no definition of their own of the word religion, hence borrowed the English word and made it theirs. The English language in Sweden later became institutionalized during the late 1800s, and by the 1980 it became mainstream to teach English to the children as young as in 3rd grade. Today, after centuries of British and American influence, it has become an essential language, estimated to be spoken well by 19% of the country, making Swedes the world's best non-native English speakers. The Philippines then, when did they encounter English and why? Well, the indigenous people of the Philippines were first exposed to the European influences around 1560, when Spain colonized the area. The first contact with the English language, however, for the Filipinos was in 1762 when the British invaded the island. This had no lasting influence on the country and was only brief. The real English influence of these Spice Islands was during the American occupation between 1898 and 1946. The Americans installed multiple institutions in the Philippines during this occupation, here including the English language. Nowadays, it is spoken and taught throughout the country and recognized as an official language. But what about the culture and language domestic to the islands? The indigenous language called Talago still remained in many aspects with the people, as did the culture, although forever changed. Having two dominant languages resulted in a phenomenon called code switching, where the speakers often switch languages mid-sentence to make themselves comprehensible, especially in informal situations. The Philippines today is a center of English learning for less developed countries, such as Russia, Iran, and Brazil, and many go there to study due to the lack of money required to live in places such as the USA, UK, or Australia. Another reason for why the Philippines is attracting students is the clear American accents present there, which has become popularized due to the American influence in the country, and is widely used by the population and in the media, which makes it easy to learn. Now, what do the Filipino English and the Swedish English have in common, and what differentiates the two dialects? It is amazing how much they share with each other, and I believe it has to do a lot with the United States' broad influence through the means of media. Take code switching, for example. Both in the Filipino Tagalog and the Swedish language, it has become more and more popular to use loan words from English, especially in younger generations, such as the word nice, for example. These younger people are the ones who carrying the language forward, and should be expected to change it. Not only do both countries have a very English integrated society, but they also consume a lot of American media, which only enhances this effect. I would, however, say that there are differences between these two countries and their use of the English. The Swedish population learn through different means, but they do not practice it as the Filipinos do in a normal conversation, as it does not come as natural. This makes the Swedish English more like what is learned straight from the book, where the Filipino English, since it is more widely used in day-to-day life, creates its own characteristics and accents. Yes, these are my sources. And thank you.